This conference will now be recorded.
All right, so what we are going to discuss today, so we are going to discuss about the so so the scenario is I have a data lake. I have a data lake inside the Azure. This is my Azure. This is my data lake, and from the data bricks, this is my Azure data bricks, whatever it is, and I'm going to write down in notebooks, creating a clusters. This is the cluster, and this is the notebook. This is the notebook. So here in this data lake, I have a containers, and inside the container I have a files like whatever the user data 1.parquet file. So this file data I want to read from the Databricks notebooks. To read the data from a data lake, Azure Data Lake Gen 2. So what is the process? How to connect to this Azure Data Lake from this Databricks? To connect to this data lake generation 2 from the Databricks, what we need to do is we cannot directly connect by giving all the sensitive information inside the Databricks. Can you able to hear me, guys? Okay.
Yes, Ram.
Someone is not here. So to connect to this Azure Data Lake Generation 2 from this Databricks notebooks, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use in between Azure Active Directory. Inside Azure Active Directory, I'm going to create one application I'm going to create. So that application will get this information. The application contains app ID, nothing but a client ID and tenant ID and secret key. So by using these three information, we are going to connect. So that three information we are going to specify in our notebook, and this app we are going to include inside this data lake. So we are giving access to this app to this data lake. So what is the advantage of this one? The advantage is you are not going to specify the secret information of your data lake directly inside the notebook. You are just giving access to an app. So that app contains some client ID, tenant ID, and secret key. So that information we are specifying over here. Okay, we are specifying. So now what I'm going to do, let me create a data lake generation 2 account, and I will upload one file, and I will create one Azure Active Directory app registration. So let me log in over here. Okay, let me create data lake generation tool. That is nothing but a storage account only. By enabling one simple option, hierarchical namespace. So we need to delete this any resource groups, otherwise we debited. Let me check what are all the resource groups available. Space expo. After you are creating and practice completed, please delete this one. Otherwise, see your amount is currently 2000 rupees. It was 14,000. Within 2-3 days, it will be gone everything. So your account will be disabled if you are not deleting the resources. Delete this resource group. Okay. Click on the storage accounts. Create. the read write subscription. Create new. Okay, let me use the existing resource group. Whatever this network space watcher RG, and give the storage account name as a E classes memory 123. So someone has already used, and you can go to the advanced. There you can enable hierarchical namespace. Okay, review and create. Click on create. So go inside. This is very important. In real times also we are doing the same. Click on containers. Create a container. Alright, so let me upload one file over here. Let me take that file actually. Yeah, so users.parquet file I want to upload. Let me make on this desktop. And then upload it. Users.parquet. Done. So I created a data lake account. I uploaded the files. Now, what is the next step we need to do? You need to create one Azure Active Directory. Azure Active Directory. What is Azure Active Directory? It is going to store all your information, and let us see the definition of Azure Active Directory. Azure Active Directory, Microsoft Enterprise Cloud-based identity and access management. Azure Active Directory is the backbone of the Office 365 system, and it can sync with on-premises Active Directory and provide authentication to other cloud-based systems via OAuth authentication. So this is something, a service to be used to provide the authentication to the other cloud services. Here also we are doing the same thing. Inside this Active Directory, I'm going to create one entity. Entity is nothing but app. So how to do this one? So one identity. Identity means one app. So simply go to the Active Directory. So here you need to create app registration. Go to the app registrations here. Click on that. Click on new registration. I'm going to give this as a RAM e-classes app name. Click on register. Okay, so once you are creating secret key, you will get an application ID, nothing but a client ID, and you will get a tenant ID. So these two things are so very important for us to create this. So let me copy this one and keep in a notepad. This is client ID. And a tenant ID. And you need to generate a secret key. How to create? You need to go to the certificates and secrets of this particular app. Click on certificates and secrets. Just come down, new client secret, e-classes, secret. Click add. Expires in 6 months, and copy the secret key, the value. See here, they have generated one key, right? Just copy that one. Okay, so these are the three informations we have. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to log into the Databricks portal, community.cloudbricks.com. Sorry, before that we have to do something more. We have created this app. For this app, we want to give access on this data lake. First, this app needs to be allow under the API permissions to access the data lake. Click on API permissions. Click on add permission. So we need to allow this Azure data lake. Okay. Delegated permissions. So select this user, impersonate, and add the permission. Have full access to the Azure Data Lake service. So your app will get full access. Also, you need to go to your data lake account, go to home, open the data lake account. You need to add this app under this account under the IAM, Identity Access Management. This data lake account e-classes memory 1 2 3 5 6 7. So go to this access control, click on that. Add a rule, click on add rule assignment. Add rule assignment. Today it's a bit slow, I think. Yeah. So what is the role you want to give? I want to give two roles. One is a owner role, another one is a blob reader role. Owner, to which user you want to give RAM e-classes. Yeah, this is the app we created, if you remember. Okay, click on save it. And also one more role I will assign, blob reader. Storage blob data reader. RAM e-classes. Click on save it. Right, now I can go to the database. Sign in. Let me go to the clusters. If we want to restart this cluster, whatever is already created, see there is an option start. Click on start and confirm. It will start the cluster, existing cluster. Or if you want to delete and create a new cluster, that is easy process. So what you can do, click on delete and create a new cluster. E classes, create cluster. Let me go to the notebooks. Let me read the existing one. Okay, right. See here, I'm going to attach the cluster. So whatever it is creating. So this is the code we need to use. First, you need to keep this configuration information. Inside this configuration information, what the things you need to replace? We need to replace this client ID, and here the secret key, and here the tenant ID. So this is the information we need to change. So let me go over here, copy this client ID, tenant ID, and secret key. Alright. So those three places you need to replace: client ID, the secret key, the tenant ID. So this is the configuration information, because information is required to establish a connection to your container, your data lake. Still this cluster is creating. Okay, now just try to run this configure command. Click on run cell. So just for establishing a connection to data lake, I'm using Scala language because this is easy. Okay, it's not mandatory always you need to use Python or always you need to use Scala. Based on the requirement situation, you can bring this code. I googled it and I bring this code, no issues. Okay, right. So then you need to mount dbutilities.fs.mount. I am going to mount to this particular container. What is your container name? Employee container. Inside you have one employee container. And what is your storage account name? E classes memory 123561. So you need to replace here E classes memory 123567 .dfs.core windows.net. And what is the mount name you want to give? You can give any name over here, the mount point name. I'm giving it as a RAM E classes mount. Okay, RAM E classes mount. Okay, let's execute this one. And whatever the configuration information we have specified on the top right, we are using that configuration information. See, configs, right? So this configs information we are using and specifying over here. Click on run cell. So till now, whatever the commands I have used is a Scala, because by default language Scala. Now I want to write down something in Python. So you need to put percentage Python. I want to assign the data into a data frame. Data frame name equal to spark.read.parquet file. And what is your mount? Mount is nothing but a connection. So my mount name is 1. So just copy that mount name and keep over here. So mount RAM E classes mount users data. Okay, users.parquet file, because that is the file we have uploaded in this container. Users.parquet, right? And headers we have to. Now we can execute it. Run the cell. Yeah, it's running. Now do you want to see the data inside the data frame? Display the data frame. So then, as usual, you can use whatever the transformations you have learned inside the PySpark Python. Only for establishing a connection to data lake, performing this, we're using this one. Okay, so I will download this export to source file. I will send this. Okay, I will drop a mail this code. Let's meet. Tomorrow is festival, right? So let's decide whether we need to take the class or not. We will update by today evening. So please